He walks. No, it's
George is on a different level.
He's on a completely different level. He's got no pop. He's got no. His feet. He doesn't. Mate, Kambosos is a complete package.
Kambosos is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, you know it better than anyone.
Yeah.
You've done rounds upon rounds upon
over
rounds.
100 rounds with George.
That's
over
right.
100 rounds with George.
You know.
George is a bad man, and those two guys are not ready for him.
I'm telling you what, George Kambosos is going to reign in this division for quite a while after seeing that as well. But this is going to kind of, if we settle, then we sign contracts and we agree to whatever's going to be discussed in the future. This is kind of, it's great because what it does, it settles this undisputed, unified, undisputed, unified. I was having dinner last night with the president, Maurice Suleiman, and he says, no, it's undisputed. I said, man, I agree with you. But the other guy said, no, it's unified. So this is a great fight. Yeah.
So what is that belt that Devin Haney?
Devin's got he's got the actual WBC, but the thing is, Lomachenko had the belt. See, so then he got promoted and released it to get the franchise. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but you know what? This is what it's all about.
Make the fight happen in Australia.
Mate, I'm telling you, 80,000 Australian fans,
and they will show
Marvel Stadium, closed roof, where Ronda Rousey, Holly Holmes fought. I'm telling you, it'll be dynamite. Dynamite.
Mr. Kambosos, obviously, I spoke to you in Miami. George pulled off an upset. Obviously, people call it upset, but you guys were very confident from day one.
Yeah,
this one was, biting more than he could chew.
You saw that confidence right through and through. I mean, everybody that was involved in this camp, basically, we can all see the confidence that George possesses. I mean, Arnold obviously involved with the sparring and all the rest of it, and every other guy that was involved, the confidence was oozing because George knows his ability, what he possesses, and the boys are telling him, George, you've got these shots. You actually hurt guys. Right. And you have a look at Teofimo. Teofimo got banged up. He got banged up. So you know what? They all underestimated Kambosos, but Kambosos just pretty much proved that, you know what? I told you since day one, I'm going to do a job and I'm going to do it in style. And I will win and take them belts and I'll become the undisputed. Well, guess what? He's the man right now, and everybody wants a piece of that flesh.
Exactly. Now, from what you saw tonight, Devin Haney, a competitive fight, obviously,
good fight, really good fight.
Diaz, a former Olympian, former champion.
Yeah, 100%.
But from what you saw today, do you see any holes in, without revealing too much, on Devin Haney?
Yeah, a lot of holes. A lot of holes. I thought he had more speed, to be honest. He didn't show any speed. He kind of just went back in straight lines. His feet sort of he didn't angle off well. I mean, Diaz was bringing the fight. He was bringing the fight, and he caught him a few times too. But both guys have got no pop, So, well, this is why I went the distance and all the rest of it. And you look, Haney threw some nice shots straight down the middle, and pretty much backed it up with another shot down the middle. Diaz just kept marching forward, So, but it made for a real good fight, good fight.
And now, I think
the scorecards were pretty much, the way they were. I had it a little bit wider than that. But it was a good fight.
Now, post-fight, he said he was willing to go anywhere and fight your son. Do you think at the end of the day he'll sign that contract and he'll go to Australia?
Well, obviously George does not want anything lesser than the top guys at the moment. I know there's been talks out there of certain guys, but look, they're all there. They're all there to basically to sit down and discuss all options. But when you start looking at, the Gervontas, he's fighting tomorrow night, and obviously, Lomachenko, and you've got Garcia, and you've got Haney. The fight that makes the most sense is this fight here, Devin Haney. It makes the most sense because he holds something where there's a question mark pretty much across the board at the moment with what George has got and what he's got. So if the money's right, obviously, everything goes well, this fight will happen pretty much in the first half of next year.
The fight fans definitely want to see it. So once it comes to fruition, how does your son beat Devin Haney?
How does he beat him? Man, George is a complete package. He's a complete package, George. He's just got hand speed, he's got footwork, he angles off, he throws every punch in the book, and he's got heart, and he'll just bulldog you, mate. And George showed that he can hurt you, So I seen that fight, and I was pretty much sitting behind Oscar De La Hoya and all the rest of it, and I thought, you know what? And I kept saying it. I said, George walks through Haney and Diaz all night, every night, So looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Thank you so much, like always, for the time, Jim.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, my man. And This guy Arnold is my guy as well. I love this guy.
And not to me to cut him off.
Yeah.
I just want to add something to it that the world should know. George has very high IQ.
Yeah.
Inside that box.
Yeah.
That's what people really underestimate him on.
Yeah.
When you're inside with George and you're in front of him, you notice his IQ.
Yeah.
How smart he is of a fighter.
And he knows where he is. Yeah. He knows where he is in that ring.
Yeah.
And basically he knows his positioning all the time. And if he's basically been backed, or they cut him off, he knows how to get out of there real quick. He moves. He circles. That's what I'm saying. His feet.
Smart fighter.
Your feet take you to where you punch. You got your feet take you there, and George is so smart. And like you said, his IQ is extremely high.
Very high.
Extremely high. He reads the game. He reads what his opponent brings, and literally he then formalises a game plan real quick. Even though he's already got a game plan, he goes, "All right, if that's what you're bringing, I know what I'm bringing right onto you right next." Yeah, real quick. Yeah. So now looking forward to what's next. But at the moment,
he's on the top of the world.
He's enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, how does this change? His life, his family, and also for you as well. All the blood, sweat, and tears. To get to this moment.
Exactly. I mean, it's been really hard all our life, and like I said, we never took any shortcuts. We made choices. We left Australia, and the thing is, everybody thought we're mad. Everybody thought, you guys are crazy. You should stay in Australia. George is such a draw card. Pretty much when he's fighting, he's going to make a lot of money. And it wasn't about the money. And that's honest to God, it wasn't about the money. It was about who you want to be in this business. And the thing is, I said to George, let's go overseas. Let's start putting you in these gyms and sparring with these solid guys who weren't even world champions, who became world champions. And you know what? George was cutting it. And when he was cutting it, we thought, you know what? This is great. You're doing it, brother. And it kind of rolled on from there. And 2017 was the last time we were back home. But all that hard work, the ups and the highs and the lows and the speed humps along the way, George never lost focus of where he wanted to be, and I was his mentor as much as I'm his father, literally just making sure that he didn't lose his focus of where he was at. And we had a lot of things that have panned out over time, with my dad passing away, his child being born, the original purse bid and how it took so long, and all these fight dates and postponements, and literally fighters are literally at that point, and then all of a sudden it got postponed again. I just said, bro, you just basically concentrate on where you're going. Everything else, it'll fall into place. You don't need to worry about it. You've got good people behind you, and these people will take care of business. You just take care of business in the ring. So at this point in time, after that victory the other night, mate, it was amazing. It was he done it in style. He even that one punch that he threw, if TFM didn't get back up, everyone would have bagged George and said, you know what, that was a lucky shot. George was happy that he got back up. George was happy that he basically, round by round, he was winning them rounds and he was punishing Tia, and he showed how good of a fighter he is. And when he did get caught and he knew he made a mistake, because he went away from the game plan, we had a game plan, and he literally executed it to a T until that one moment. But I looked at him across the ring in that corner, and I could see he was disappointed with himself. He was still clear in the eyes. His legs were a little bit wobbly, but he was still clear. He could see the shots coming, because Teo finishes anybody at that time. He finishes any lightweight once he's dropped him. But George basically bit down, finished the round really strong, and look what he did in the 11th. It was his best round in the 11th, and closed the show in the 12th. That fight had everything, and if that's not fighter of the year, well, I don't know what is. And that's not disrespecting anybody else out there, because these guys jumped in this ring are warriors. But you know what? Honestly, it's definitely upset of the year, even though George won't like it being labelled as upset, because George always said, I'm going to beat this guy. I'm going to beat this guy. He said it in the press conference. He said it in the first press conference. He kept saying it. I'm going to beat you, man. I'm going to take in those belts. You watch and see. I'm here for business. Oh, yeah, this, that. He just kept saying it. And you know what? Everyone pretty much, only the people that knew. Correct. The ones that knew. The ones that didn't know probably thought, no, Kambosos, no way, no chance in hell. 13-1 underdog, he won't do it. But the guys like yourself,
the entire garden was against.
Yeah, entire.
I'm from New York.
Yeah, you're a Brooklyn.
I'm born and raised in New York, but I already knew what George had. So
and I watched him walking out, and he walks out with the Spartan songs, and he was getting booed like there's no tomorrow. But we're used to that. We've seen that once before. And he walked out there. But what I liked about George is, he is a Spartan warrior, and what he did is he walked out. I watched him, and I was just watching his walk, and he was literally, he had that blinkers on, he had that vision. You don't care what people say, literally arm's length. But the best thing is, and he's done this before when he's been booed, because he knows, he's telling the crowd, you watch and see. He gets up on that apron, he stands on the side of the apron like King Leonidas, because he loves his culture and his background, and he literally looks at everybody across the board like that and says, I'll show you guys where I'm at. And that's what he's done that once before. And I know when Kambosos comes out, he doesn't get in those ropes straight away, and he sits there and does that. I go, George, you know what, man, you're going to win this fight tonight.
Yeah.
You know, he oozes with confidence. Devin Haney, Javante, or whoever who's next, I'm telling you, it won't be no different. You're going to see a better Kambosos. You're going to see a better Kambosos. And we've already spoken behind the scenes, just relaxing back in our rooms. He says, Dad, I ain't losing focus of what I'm doing, because this now is taking me to another level. He goes, another level. He goes, I ain't letting these guys take what I've got. He goes, I ain't going to become, you know, a guy now that loses focus of who I am. You know, look at me, basically out there and celebrating every day and dropping the ball. No. He says, Dad, back to my family, back to my children, back to my regime. And you know what? I'll start training from now, and once we lock something in, I'm going to ramp it right up. And that was it. That's Kambosos.
He's already in the treadmill.
Yeah, he was on the treadmill the other day.
Here at the hotel,
Yeah, he's there. And he's,
yeah,
but you know what? That's a true professional. And you know, every other fighter that's out there, you just got to look at what the way Kambosos, you know, basically he holds himself real well. And mate, you got to believe in yourself. And I know Freddie Roach said it. He's a legend of a guy. He said, if Kambosos doesn't believe in himself, who the fuck will? And that's so true. And he believes in himself, you know. And Freddie called it, and a lot of other people that know George personally, they said, man, you're going to get this. You know, so.
He said that since day one,
Yeah, day one, you know. And watch, he'll start talking about the Haney thing when, or whoever it may else be, but we're all talking Haney now because obviously he's holding something which kind of sort of like will settle this whole, you know, undisputed, unified, whatever everybody wants to class it. But you watch and see, once this whole thing starts to roll, once again, he'll go into that fight mode, that mental games, and he'll just break you. He's very good at what he does.
Well, thank you so much for the time. We always appreciate it.
No, 100%, man. I mean, like I said, this ain't about me, but I love talking about the kid. You know, he's a great kid, and I wish him, you know, all the success in life, because he really is something special, and he's not a one-show pony. He's definitely going to back it up, and I honestly believe he's going to make multiple defenses. After seeing tonight, it just gave me that much more confidence. 100%. And you called it, Arnold, 100%. And I knew exactly that what you saw and what I saw, and I literally sat right there closest to that apron. I thought, nah, man, George Kambosos has just got too much. You know?
George showed his class, his last fight.
And I don't want to disrespect anyone right now, but I just seen what I seen. You know?
You got to speak your mind.
Yeah. And I speak from the heart. So, yeah.
There you go.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely, we look forward to it. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, my man. Thank you.